good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for inviting me in your office. And I can see a lot of books around, Shekhar. Uh, Coming from a knowledge domain, that is too much books. And would you like to share with me how you started being in facilitation, which is more content neutral?
Well, I think that's very important to consider. Letting go of our own knowledge within a system and to really believe that these people know and can produce what they want. And that's, I think, the facilitator's heartbeat, if I may say so. It's not really about having to throw away that knowledge, it's just not wanting to bring it there at that time. And really knowing that these people have the implicit, tacit knowledge to do whatever you're asking them to do. Very fun.
Yes. So, as you said, it's more about believing in the group and the group knowledge. So that makes facilitation is different from training, mentoring, coaching.
Yeah.
You can throw some light on us on about how all of them are different from each other.
Well, I think there are different schools of thought and different ways to define all these things. I would say coaching is when it's not group coaching, when it's individual coaching, but be it life coaching, executive coaching, it's very, very tailored to that particular person's requirement for that person to improve and stuff. Where the coach is asking the questions, the coachee knows the answer. In many ways, facilitation is similar. The facilitator has designed a particular process, and then we invite the participants, and then they do their thing, and they reach where they want to reach, the outcome. With mentoring, slightly different. Mentor is expected to give advice. Mentor is usually a content expert. And what else? Trainer. Trainer is training. So the trainer trains usually for skills, for attitudes maybe, but essentially for skill. Whereas the facilitator is not into really any kind of training in that sense. Facilitator takes a brief from the client, understands what the group is trying to do, and designs processes that he or she imagines will be useful for the team to go through and come up to where they want to be. All these things are what we can call as helping professions, and they are all important and they all have their roles. It's necessary to choose, is this a training situation? Is this better for facilitation? It could be psychotherapy sometimes, it could be counseling, it could be something else altogether. Maybe you need to change the system, maybe you need to change some simple rules and processes, maybe it's to do with the structure of the system. So I think it's very important to make sense of what is the situation and then choose which therapy you want to go with, whether you want to choose facilitation, and I think that's very, very important.
As I have been knowing you, you're a system thinker. And is it possible to incorporate facilitation process into system thinking?
In fact, it is not possible to exclude it.
Okay.
Whether you know it or not, facilitation is always done in a system. And I think people do eventually pay attention to the system, what is happening in the system. And I think it would not be inappropriate to call almost any facilitation process happening to be non-systemic. If it is non-systemic, it could be training, perhaps. So you can't take systems thinking out of facilitation. And the better you are aware of, the better you are as a facilitator, I would say.
Shekhar, you are one of the few CPF in India, and you started journey being certified facilitator in India very early. Would you like to share something to the aspiring CPFs in India?
Yes, there are a few CPFs in India, and I am sure that the community is going to really become big in the time to come. About aspiring CPFs, I myself was an aspiring CPF not too long ago. I mean, well, I think we were evaluated for 75 competencies. And I think that was the real soul of the whole CPF journey. to be preparing for these many competencies, to really really work out for that. And I think my message for the aspiring CPFs is start preparing today and start enjoying the journey. Get as much practice as you can get. Talk to us, talk to the community. IA facilitation fee. Take as many opportunities as you can to be with where the events are happening. And most importantly, value the extraordinary power of facilitation and how you can make those designs happen and work for your participants. That's really important. I think that's what's very important. Enjoy that.
That's wonderful. A lot of insights from your sharing. And before we sign off, anything else that you would like to share to us, being in your journey of facilitation, and maybe something that have touched you deeply, being in the process of facilitation?
I think that it would be great if everybody in India could become a facilitator. Sincerely, I think just really to understand what it means to be a facilitator, how we can facilitate. Facilitation means making things easier. So why wouldn't anybody want to make things easier? And I think it's a terrific profession to be in. I think it's a noble thing to do. I feel grateful to be in this space. And as far as my dreams are concerned, I think that I would like to evangelize facilitation, not only in India but everywhere in the world. Tackle difficult situations, circumstances with facilitative processes, tools, methodologies. Have a great community of facilitators doing stuff. Yeah, I think that is the passion, that is the interest, that is the drive, that's what keeps us going. That's why. What can I say? That's what keeps me moving. The whole idea is to make. If it's possible, I would like everybody in India to be a facilitator. And I think this community is awesome. And facilitation as a practice, as a profession, I think it's a very noble thing to do. And as far as I'm concerned, I would love to work for the development of facilitation, for the development myself as a facilitator, and to promote and evangelize facilitation everywhere possible. I think that is really the mission.
Thank you, Shekhar, for giving your time. I really enjoyed being with you, knowing more about the facilitation. Thank you for listening to us. I hope this adds value in your life as well. Thank you, Shekhar.
Hi, my name is Shyam Iyer. I am the father of Harshit Iyer. Harshit Iyer had recently attended a one-day kids money magic workshop done by Jane Shah, and I had sent my son to his one-day program. This was the first time that he had ever gone for a training program for an entire day. I would really like to give feedback on what I saw after the program went over. After the workshop got over, I asked him towards the evening when I came to pick him the training program. I asked him what was your learning. So he was very charged, very happy. He is in the 5th standard, and for him to sit in the training room for an entire day, I was wondering how itself is going to be a challenging task. But I was so proud to see that he was very happy. He wanted to continue the training. He wanted to share the concepts of what was taught to him by Jane, and storytelling and all that stuff. I said, wow, it's good that at least he was able to maintain and he was happy about the whole course. Immediately after a week, we had been for a wedding at Vashi, and it was a distant relative, so we had to be there. He was playing with the mobile and then he was feeling very bored, so I asked him, sure, let's go down and go to a shop and see if we can buy some toys for you. He wanted to buy a Beyblade, it's a toy, so we figured out a toy shop close to the venue. We went and he saw some 2 or 3 Beyblades, but it was not as per what he wanted because he already had those kind of Beyblades. So I said, why don't you try something else? Why don't you buy a remote car, or why don't you buy something else as a toy? He said, no Papa, I don't want, I only wanted a Beyblade and it's not there, so I will not buy it. And he walked out from the shop. For me it was a wow moment because never ever it has happened that I go to a toy showroom and I come back for buying it. So I asked my son, what happened? I mean, there were so many other toys and the shopkeeper was trying to sell you this and that. So what made you say no? So he immediately reflected and he said, no, I learned that in the Money Magic workshop that you have to value the money. So I said, wow, that's a powerful learning. And very often he keeps telling at home that, don't waste money. When my wife says, let's go for shopping or let's buy something, he thinks, why are you buying unnecessary things? Don't waste money. So I would strongly recommend each and every parent to send your kids to this Money Magic workshop, kids Money Magic workshop, because money as a subject is never taught in schools, unfortunately. And from the childhood, you need to get inculcated as a value, as a belief of all of money. And this workshop is fantastic. For me, it has got 100% ROI. I would strongly recommend each one of you to nominate your sons or daughters for this workshop. Thank you.
Hi Shyam.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. Shyam comes from 16 years of HR background, 10 years with Tata. Shyam, would you like to share something about your journey being head of HR and how you started with facilitation in the group?
Thanks, Jen, for the invitation, and it's my pleasure to be here. If I reflect back, my journey on the facilitation went back in the year 2011 when I went and was part of the IAF Asia conference at Bangalore. We had about 100 odd participants, out of which 80 were from the global community, global facilitators. And that's where I really experienced the power of facilitation. And when I went to the session, I felt I knew everything about facilitation. And when I came out of the session, I realized what I didn't know about facilitation. And since 2011 has been my exciting journey. Till date, I'm learning about facilitation. It's not that I've got all the skills and knowledge. It's a lifelong learning process. But it has made my life very easy, very enriching, and very, very meaningful.
You said the journey has been easy using facilitation. Is it impacting positively the organization as well?
Of course, while the journey has been easy, it has had its own ups and downs. When you talk about the impact of the organization, the biggest impact is how well can you engage your participants, how well can you really make your organization productive, how well can you get the collective wisdom of the participants, how well can you get the ownership of what has been spoken about. To give an example, many times in the organization at the strategy level, we talk about vision and values. I see a bigger role using facilitation process, whether it is shared vision or vision shared with the top team.
So any organization which is looking for change in the culture, facilitation can be a helpful tool for them?
Of course, facilitation starts at the very basic premise saying that you can facilitate anything. You can facilitate even meetings, you can facilitate even ordinary conversations, you can even facilitate conflicts at workplace, decisions, creativity, innovation, simple things like induction at an organization. We induct a lot of Gen Y people, and the attention span is very difficult if you keep running PowerPoints and slides and everything and keep talking about the organization. Go and ask them after one day or after even 1 hour what was the retention of what was spoken earlier. Hardly you will find any retention levels. So facilitation can be used at many ways in many occasions, provided the facilitator is well aware about the processes that he's going to use, because his only currency is process. So you could actually use it in change management, you could use it in conflicts, you could use it in team building, you could use it for employee engagement. I see immense potential where you could use it at any given space, whether you can also drive it in large scale interactive process as well.
Understanding from what you said, it's about changing culture, changing the processes. Does it have any positive impact on you as an individual level?
When you see your participants really going happy with a real happy smiley faces, and when you really sense that the desired outcome of the entire process has really been met and your client is very happy with the outcome of it, and if the participants or if the learners feel that this was the process which really made them 100% mindful of the learning of here and now, I think as a facilitator you feel very, very immensely satisfied with the outcome, because you are the hero of the entire event, but you are always playing a backside role. You are not in the front side role. The hero is actually the participants. The heroines are actually out in the participants, and you feel tremendously satisfied. It gives it immense joy, and that is what has really kicked me into the facilitation community, wherein The community is very vibrant. It's open to share. It's a wonderful community wherein you get to know a lot of things that's happening across the globe, and participants also look forward to the next processes every time when they come to this kind of sessions. The sticky walls, getting up and down, doing some activities, speaking out the mind. Wherein normal courses participants may or may not get to speak. Maybe because they're being introvert, or maybe there's someone else as dominant as a boss or subordinate or a peer. So how using facilitation process you get to know all sorts of people in the room and make sure that collectively they drive your desired outcomes.
Wonderful. I have been to a few facilitation events, and before training, the participants are like, we have to go there. That's the kind of approach. But what I have observed at facilitation, everybody is just wanting to go, be part of the learning process, and facilitation is kind of owned by them.
Yeah.
So, what different things you would like to do using facilitation, say for the corporate community?
Well, I would definitely like to first throw out the PowerPoints. Because I personally believe power corrupts and PowerPoint absolutely corrupts. So if we can get away as much as possible from the PowerPoint and make it much more meaningful by here and now using the participants' mind and collectively working on their experience and what they have to share, I think the ownership is very high. You bring in a lot of participative and collaborative environment. That's what we at corporates always look for. How you can make a meaningful, participative and collaborative environment, and facilitation plays a major role in that. Ultimately, the ownership of the action plans and of the entire process lies with the team. So whether you are a trainer, you are a coach, or your mentor, or your facilitator, your buddy, at the end of the day, they need to own it and they need to execute that. I see as a facilitator, the chances of they owning it and executing it and winning it is 100% high, because it's co-created together. It's just not taught one way. Communities, corporates can definitely use it, say for induction processes, they can use it for their employee engagement processes, they can use it in their reviews and brainstorms. Many a times I see the board meeting gets board meetings, you can actually use that over there. Any sort of conflicts in the projects, any sort of, suppose you want to venture into new businesses, new markets, new products, you can use facilitations over there. How can you create an ideative culture, you can use facilitative over there. Design thinking, you can use facilitation process over there. So there is, immense scope. You name it, you can use facilitation over there.
That's a wide scope, really wide scope. How have been your journey being a CPF? Because you're one of the very new CPF that we have in India.
Yeah.
So would you like to share something to us on your journey?
Okay. CPF journey has been extremely rewarding, I would say. When I went into the IAF world in the year 2011, I had made a decision that I would definitely take this CPF. And since then has been my journey of getting into the CPF. We recently got CPF in August in India. The entire process is so rigorous, and it makes you really feel to do more and more, better and better. Because it's not a process where you could get away with small mistakes or small errors. So right from the day the go till the last moment, you're always breathless. You're always anticipating now what next. And 8 eyes watching you is not an easy job, So it's tougher than Big Boss kind of stuff, where they are really looking at you and evaluating you and your every actions. 75 competencies evaluation is not an easy job, and they actually evaluate you on all those competencies, giving evidences where they saw, where they could have improved and all that kind of stuff. And it actually helped me to become much more better at work in which I am doing, because now I can appreciate how do I need to do a certain task with certain set of competencies that I've been able to. And it's a learning process, it's a learning journey, because every time one of the competencies of facilitator is how open are you in terms of agile, and are you learning after every session. So constantly we keep asking ourselves, we keep debating with ourselves, what different I could have done that, what else could I have done that, whether my preparations were adequate, whether the client is satisfied with the outcome. So it has been a very enriching experience, and I would certainly encourage all corporates, chieftains, or whoever is there listening to this would definitely to get into CPF, because as a community, as a country, we have immense scope for getting into facilitation. Look at a country like Singapore,
Yes.
where they are today. I see India has immense potential when Mr. Prime Minister talks about making India and all that stuff. I think facilitator as a community has immense scope to work with the governments and set up and make a bigger Singapore, not smaller.
Yes. Thank you for giving us the time. And anything else before we sign off that you would like to share with the people?
Facilitation looks very easy when you are on the other side of the fence. I would strongly encourage you all to experience the power of facilitation by doing a facilitation process once. That's where the real challenge you actually see. That's where the real fun and that's where the real engagement comes in. The more participation of facilitation is actually free, and as the process goes, it's really smooth. So whoever wants to get into the field of facilitation, you're most welcome. You can visit our websites. You can learn more about that. But do try it out once, and once you try it out once, I promise you, you'll never let it go.
Shyam, thanks for sharing wonderful insights about facilitation. Before we end this interview, would you like to share something that you recently implemented in your company?
Okay. Well, just 2 days back we had an induction program, and one of my team members who is part of the process for driving this induction, she saw this process in the recently IAF Asia conference. So very quickly I will share the process. We had about 30 odd participants in the batch, and as you know, all are Gen Y and young people. So the induction was for 3 days. They all were formed into respective home groups, and the home groups this time the difference that we made was it was all of department names. So there was a home group of say engineering department, there was a home group of HR, there was a home group of finance, home group of technology. And the participants were told that over a period of 3 days, you need to go and talk to those people in the department, interact with them, and try to get as much as possible details about what are their functions, about what are the challenges that they face, what are some of the achievements that they have, and what have been your learnings from the functioning of those departments. Secondly, when these departments come and talk about the processes, about their functions, you take down notes, you interact and you ask questions, you take down notes, and towards the end of the last day, you need to prepare a kind of a collage in a sheets and go and present it. And while presenting it, the respective department head also is present over there and to see what is being presented. So believe me, this was done for the first time, and I could really see the power of the group. Someone who sits in the software department is able to appreciate what a mechanical engineer does, or someone who is in an engineering department is able to understand what an admin department does. Because we normally look at it from a different perspective. Now they have to go and be into their shoes and understand, talk to them, and they also get empathetic, sympathetic, and they are able to appreciate and embrace the differences. And it really brought in a wonderful perspective of collective learning. So it was like a treasure hunt with the different variants, and together everyone brought a collective piece putting across the maze. And it was a wonderful learning. And then the participants were also asked to sing a song dedicated to the department based on what they saw. It was also an element of fun, joy, and we really enjoyed. I mean, the participants didn't want to end the induction program, so that was the power of facilitation I could see. They experienced the process of different departments by interacting and going forward. So the wall has been broken. Now they can be much more comfortable interacting with those guys. Also, we have used Textra to understand the business model of the company and also to understand how the defense industry has evolved over a period of time. So the participants become very familiar with some of the terminologies which a newcomer definitely doesn't understand on day one. So using this Textra process, the participants are much more familiar with the business model, the business process, some frequent used terminologies, so that they can also feel that they are not 1 day old, they are at least in the system for about 2-3 years old. So this has been a great success, and we wish to do this going forward.
Thank you, Shyam, for being with us, sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience being with facilitation. I'm sure others would be inspired, and let's hope to bring the change in the corporate structure by introducing facilitation, involving a lot of people into the process. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hi, I am Seema Shrivastava. Since past 17 years, I've been into performance and leadership skill scalability building. Very recently, I got introduced to International Association of Facilitators. This is a worldwide community of facilitators. After meeting the seasoned facilitators in this community, I got so fascinated by the term facilitation and facilitators. I got to know about a lot of concepts that they use as facilitators, that now I look forward to becoming a certified professional facilitator someday. I know of the fact, after meeting these people, I know of the fact that facilitation can be used in a lot of aspects professionally and personally. Be it incrementing the sales, be it driving a smooth meeting, gaining consensus from people, and also can be used in a topic as difficult as conflict resolution. Thus, I am inclined to use facilitation and its concepts and processes, and thus I would want to be certified as a professional facilitator.
What's your name and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Seema Shrivastava. Since past 17 years, I've been into performance and leadership skills capability building.
How were you introduced to facilitation?
There's this friend of mine who mentioned about International Association of Facilitators and the benefits that he gained from it. So I heeded and I also joined the community.
Will you share some point of something that has really helped you in life with facilitation?
There was this program wherein I did not have the expertise. As they say, facilitation is primarily gaining through the group's wisdom and driving the group wisdom towards a common objective. So there's this program that I was running. I was not the subject matter expert. However, with the use of facilitation, I did convey the knowledge, the group wisdom to the participants, and in the process even I learned.
Will you share one specific example where facilitation has touched your heart?
I think there was this conflict resolution conversation that the team was having, and I used facilitation there when I asked the parties involved what the concern is, what could be the probable solution, and then we worked around it. I think that's where I think facilitation was very useful to me.
Why you want to be CPF?
As I mentioned, this very example, this very experience that I've had, I know of the fact now, after meeting so many seasoned facilitators in the community IAF, that facilitation can be used both in personal and professional life, and it's not only a workshop that it can be used at, it can be used in multiple aspects, right? And thus I want to become a certified professional facilitator because it would be a great learning for me.
How do you want to help the training world with facilitation?
I would want to use facilitation to drive the knowledge, to let the people who come to the workshop know that you have the wisdom in you, you have the knowledge on a particular topic in you. It's just that you need someone to help you get to the surface, help you get that knowledge, the wisdom to the surface, and help the group also learn along with you.
Will you recommend facilitation to anyone?
Of course, I would recommend, in fact, facilitation as a tool, IAF as a community was recommended to me by a friend, a business colleague. I would also want to recommend IAF being a part of this community to everybody, all my business associates, all my friends, and also to become a certified facilitator to all my friends. In fact, I've already started recommending to a lot of them.
Hi, Atin. It's so good to see you here. I'm with a person who is an outbound trekker, and the interesting thing about Yatin is he is using facilitation in his outbound training. Yatin, will you share me something about how you got inspired to use facilitation with your training?
Yeah. It all started, Jane, if you ask me, way back 3 years ago when I attended MAD conference, Make a Difference conference with IAF, International Association of Facilitators people. And I was invited, I went there. When I saw the overall scenario was, nobody was teaching or training, everybody was doing some activities, and a huge learning was coming out of it. And that is something that changed my whole perception. And that day, somewhere inside, I decided this is it. This is what I wanted. And then it so happened that 3 or 4 days after the training, once inside my colony, I saw some trouble that is happening. The federation meeting, and there were two groups, and well, I just was wondering, I mean, what are these people up to? And I was part of one of the group, and they said, can you just come down? And that was the moment I thought maybe I would use what I learned about 3 days ago. I had some sketch pens, I had colored paper, I didn't have a sticky wall, yet I just decided to take a call. I went there, and I kind of did something which amazed me also. I made these two groups stand next to each other. So this is your position, great. This is your position, great. I stood in between. I said, imagine this to be a line, and me is a neutral facilitator. I don't belong to this, I don't belong to this group as well. Can I borrow caps? Somebody is wearing a cap. I took that cap and I said, till the time I'm wearing cap, I am your content neutral process facilitator. Much of it they didn't understand, and the language diversity was an issue. So I decided to carry on with Hindi language, which is understood by everyone. And then I ran a small process, what we call as a flip-flop debate, and it worked phenomenally well. And the background is, before that meeting, people were ready to fight with each other. Some kind of violence was also expected to happen, but it so happened that after facilitative intervention, things worked really well. People agreed to disagree on certain points, and that's, I think, my major key takeaway from that. And people loved the part that I made them write their expressions on the paper. And when those papers were spread out on the ground, since I told you that I didn't have a sticky wall at that time, I just made them spread out the papers, color papers with a sketch pen, everyone's handwriting on it, and then I clustered them with what we call today as affinity diagram. So I clustered them, and in the end, at the end of say 2-hour session, I made them come up with, if this is given, you people don't agree on certain points but do agree on many other points, what are the possible action steps we can do? People wrote it down, handed it over to chairperson, and people went on it. That's where I use facilitation intuitively, and it worked well. I mean, it worked phenomenally.
So you're learning something in the conference, and you immediately used it in your personal life, resolving a conflict in some society?
Yes, about 36 of them, and a colony worth 900 families, and that is the overall scenario was not very conducive, not very good. And in that particular aspect, I realized the power of facilitation, and that is something I decided I would use it everywhere. Or on the contrary, I was trying to find out, is there any place I cannot use facilitation? To my surprise, I have yet to find. 3 years I'm rocking, rolling, going all out about facilitation, but still it is yet to be discovered that is there any way I cannot use facilitation.
So that comes out with the word when it comes to your field, facilitation everywhere. And I heard you are writing a blog on facilitation everywhere. That's beautiful. What inspired you to go for certification?
Certification was given to understand to us it's tough job, and one need to do many things in terms of preparation and documentation. I just decided, let me go for it, because if I want to be facilitator and to be the best facilitator, then probably let me have the best knowledge available. So for me, certification was one attempt where I would really want to test my own skills and capacity. I did that, and lucky I got through. but there were many mistakes I made all throughout, and there were learnings. For me, facilitation is a work in progress, and facilitator is always somebody who is learning. What I am as a facilitator 1 hour before and what I am now, there is a change, and that change is that new added learning. That's facilitation for me. So that's what actually inspired me to go out and test capacity in terms of what are my knowledge, what is my knowledge, what are my learnings, and how can I really go about it.
Yasin, knowing from your story how you personally got touched by facilitation and you working with a lot of corporates, where all you think you can bring in the facilitation such as it can make a huge impact?
True. There are various places, according to me, facilitation can be used. And as I told you earlier, Jane, that I've yet to find out some place I cannot use it. But my heart goes to a teaching profession or education. In education, I think facilitation can make a huge difference. I'm saying it on camera, but trust me, I do not believe in current education system. It needs to be changed. A teacher teaching some lesson, saying something doesn't make much sense because half the students, many of the times, don't get what they want. However, if we use facilitation during this time for teaching, for professors, teachers, and students, it would make a huge difference. Can you imagine a teacher coming in a class, not teaching a single word about the chapter, and still all the students learn everything that they need to learn about certain subject. So Jen, according to me, that's the area I'm targeting at least for coming couple of years.
That's wonderful. It means we can revolutionize the education system using facilitation.
True.
Being with teachers, being with professors, there is a new way that is possibility that can come into education.
True. That's going to be empowering even for the teachers as well. Because at the end of the day, teachers' efforts really go into ensuring students have learned everything. Alright? And with facilitation, I guarantee students will get their best and teachers definitely will enjoy that experience. Facilitation is all about enabling, empowering, and creating leaders. Be it students, be it teachers, be it anywhere.
Thank you, Yasin. Thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing the details about facilitation. I'm sure a lot of teachers, community, and a lot of other people will be inspired to know more about facilitation. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.